share with you is a newer concept to me, and it's something that it's helping me. It's helping me relationally, specifically with the topic of forgiveness. And so, to get an idea for the idea, I want to start out with talking about a passage in Luke that would be a contrast to another passage in Luke. So in Luke 9:1-6, if we had more time, it would be great to read through it. I'd encourage you to read through these scripture passages. But in Luke 9:1-6, Jesus sends out his 12 disciples, and he gives them power and authority to heal and to cast out devils and to cure all diseases. And when he commands them to do this, they just do it. There's no question about that. And that's the interesting part. I might be arguing from silence, but I really find that fascinating that Jesus asked them to do something supernatural and they don't question it and they just go and do it. Okay, so then you fast forward to Luke 17. And Luke 17 starts out right away talking about how offenses are going to come, but woe to those who commit the offenses. And then he starts to talk about what happens when somebody offends you. So Jesus says, if your brother offends you, go to him, tell him his fault, and if he repents, then forgive him. And then he goes on to say, if this happens 7 times in a day, and he repents, you must forgive him. So it says the word you must. That's super important. And then right after that, the disciples, unlike the other passage where they just go out and they do it without questioning, their response to Jesus' teaching about forgiveness is, Lord, increase our faith. And that's a direct response to that. And I find that to be really, really interesting. On the topic of forgiveness in general, it seems to be like in my own heart, there's a massive pushback. And it's kind of similar to like when this person walks up to Jesus and says, good teacher, what's the greatest commandment? And Jesus says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. And then he says, but the second is like it. Second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. So just right there, that's like saying to love another person is a lot like loving God. But then the guy who asked the question goes on and says, well, who's my neighbor? And Jesus goes on to give this story about the Samaritan who is injured, and just the traveler who's injured, and then the Samaritan takes care of him. Like they're not even neighbors. This guy lives in a different country. So this is something I've been thinking a lot about in relationship to the times that we're in now, and then pulling it from the context of the Bible. And if you look at the context of the Bible during this time, the Jewish people really hated the Romans, and I'm pretty sure that feeling was mutual. And then within the Jewish religion, you had the conservative Pharisees, and then you had the liberal Sadducees. And I don't really know that the Romans viewed the Jews as being made in the image of God. And I don't think the Jews felt that way towards the Romans. And I don't think that the Pharisees felt that way towards the Sadducees. And same thing with the Sadducees towards the Pharisees. And so how this all relates back, Lord, increase my faith to see the conservative or the liberal or the atheist or my neighbor who disagrees with me, increase my faith to see that they are made in the image of God. And if they've hurt me, that they are worth it to go in a loving and kind way, holding that idea in mind and telling them their fault and hoping for reconciliation. And so all of this to say this is my issue. This is something that I need to deal with people that and so I thought I would share the idea and ask for prayer to be able to do it. So there you have it.